What type of person do you want to depict it on your gravestone the day you die?
We are living in a society where performance is a currency.
You have goals for your business, for your own finances, don't you?
It has pushed us to the brink of burnout and mental health crisis.
The wheels come off and you've got just performance. Man, you're in big trouble.
And it has become a pandemic on its own.
I know it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile.
And I believe that you, Barry, with your background, being a pastor, also you are a life coach as well. How would you unpack that topic of performance versus meaning?
We are in a cockeyed society where everything evolves around things, about achieving things. Standards get higher and higher and higher. I mean, at the end of the day, at the work, you get a performance appraisal. Did you further the interests of the company? Did you make money? So meaning versus performance is a huge topic, because it touches onto the essence of life. When I speak to people about meaning versus performance, I get this reaction. But I get my meaning through my performance. The better I perform, the better I feel about myself, the more worthy I feel. Still, performance. And if that falls away, usually that guy's or girl's, usually a guy, his life collapses. For instance, when you go on to retirement, why is it that within 5 years this guy dies? If the only backbone of his existence is his performance. Work, 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 and when that stops, everything stops. And he sits and he's waiting to die. It's even worse when someone gets retrenched, because that is a kick in the certain anatomical place. It's as if when he's retrenched, his whole sense of worth is gone. And it's more so with men than with women.
It seems to be we are conditioned as a human beings for performance.
When a child is born, nothing makes sense and he can do nothing. So first of all, he has to learn to do things. Walk, do maths, ride a bike. And your whole life is one big striving towards performing. A whole school system, as you've rightly said, the whole society is built around performance. And if you don't perform, you're out. You don't count at all.
Survival of the fittest.
Exactly. It's all about performance. Let me give you an example. When I meet a little boy of, say, 12 years old, one of my first questions, just to start a conversation with this little boy, I'll ask, what are you going to become one day? What's that? Meaning or performance? Performance. What are you going to become? A doctor, an architect, or policeman, but you're going to become someone. So we are conditioning people from young age in that direction. We don't ask, are you going to be a loving father one day? Or are you going to serve your people? Or are you going to... No. What are you going to do? Another example. I spoke to 3 little kids a while ago, and I said, complete this proverb. Time is, and they all said, they're kids like this. They said, money. Where did they hear that? From mom and dad. They conditioned that time is money. And I said, no, time is love. Time is love. So, and I knew the parents And I saw in the kids already the attitude towards money, towards success, towards work, towards performance. In the eyes of the little kids, we are doing that. And we can just realize that money, success which equals money, can buy standard of living, not quality of living. You understand the difference? The standard of living. A bigger car, a bigger house, more expensive holidays. It's a standard of living, but it's not quality of living. You can't be an 6 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night dad and say, I'll make that up during the holidays. Bull. You know what I'm saying. If you want quality of life, you must be there. Do you live to work or do you work to live? Is work your whole meaning of life? Is to perform, to work, to make money, to have a position, to get the recognition of those things. If I can give an example, I've heard this of a very important guy that was about to begin a new venture, and his financial director gets a phone call from this big boss. Tomorrow is Saturday, I need you on site, that we can discuss this whole thing. And he says, but it's my daughter's wedding. I can't come. And the big boss tells the financial director, well, if you still want your job on Monday, you will be there. And what did he do? He dropped his daughter's wedding. Meaning was sacrificed for the sake of performance. And I'm convinced that that was his main regret for the rest of his life. Because we are, as you've said right in the beginning, we are driven by performance, by achievements. Your worth is being determined by how successful you are.
And yet same times, when is there enough?
Let me first start by quoting Jesus. That's now, I'm paraphrasing what he said. He said, what does it accomplish if you gain the whole world but lose your soul? Interpreted in today's language, it means, what does it really mean if you gain things and fame, and you've got a bigger house, all the world's these things, you get that, but you lose the meaning of life, the essence of life. You lose your family, you lose your God, you actually lose yourself. I mean, I know people that work from 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes even earlier, till 8 o'clock at night, morning and night. They just do one thing. They chase, I don't know what they chase, but it's success, it's money, and it becomes a treadmill on. That's where burnout and mental health problems, and the question of why performance for the sake of performance. You're actually, if you really analyze it, stuck in survival mode. Because you tell yourself, I can only survive if I have a bigger house. I can only survive if I've got a bigger car. I can only survive if I get another million. And so they're stuck there. They're at the bottom. For what reason am I chasing these things? What do you write on a dead man's gravestone? meaningful things, not achievements. Isn't it interesting? You're not right. He had 50 million rand in the bank. He was the head of 3 corporations. No. Here lies a loving father and a devoted husband who cared for his fellow men. What people write is not performance.
What should we do to gain back that balance in our life?
To answer that, I must visit quickly one of my other pet topics. And that is what I'm now saying affects your head, your heart, your hands. The H's, head, heart, hand. You must realize that what you are doing when you are building your life on your performance and to a certain extent on money, on earthly things, that house is going to crumble when the storm comes. The second H is the heart. It is, you have to make a decision. It's not just knowing, it's feeling, it's experiencing, and especially deciding. But then the third is hand. Good choices without action means nothing. You have to do something about it. The answer lies in the fact that you have to make very, very harsh decisions. Sometimes you'll have to say no to your boss. You have goals for your business, for your own finances, don't you? Do you also have goals for your relationships, for meaning? No. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile. I've never met an important person who said at the end of his life, maybe I should have spent more time at work. If happiness or the chase of happiness becomes in itself an act of performance, then you are in big trouble. I met one old lady that was always smiling, and she was living for other people, but she was dying of cancer. She was so binnekant. She was happy. She got rid of this false concept that to be happy, I have to have things. There are 3 concepts. It's having, being, and doing. And your identity doesn't depend on having and on doing, but on being. My view on meaning. There's one thing that gives meaning, and that is to belong. Vir wie doen jy dit? Why do you do it? You do it for someone. I was once traveled in America. I was in a plane crossing the Grand Canyon. I was like my finger. I had no one to share it with. No one to say, yo, that's nice. It was a shallow experience. It was a performance. It wasn't meaningful. The meaning of sharing was gone. And I think one of the things of modern society is selfishness. Living your own dream or chasing your own destination, which is fine as long as it's balanced out, meaning and performance.
Can you see the giraffes over there?
Yes. The giraffe there, yes. Wow. And there's one here too. And there's another one there.
We've spoken about all of the good and the bad. How do you define the meaning?
I just feel that the things that you do and experience that doesn't involve money, or especially not making money, but just being with people, being in God's nature, experiencing what we are experiencing at the moment.
Feed your soul.
If you do things for the enrichment of others, it sounds so airy-fairy, but it's so true. If I do something for my brother that drives this vehicle, and for my girlfriend, and for my children, if I do something for them without thinking what I'm going to get out of it, merely as a gift, as giving, that feeds my soul, like you so rightly suggested. It makes life worthwhile. Meaning is not doing. It's not having, but it's being. If someone is watching this post and you want to share your thoughts, you want to tell us the meaningful things in your life and how you succeeded in turning the boat, please share it with us and with others. We can in this way enrich each other and add meaning to the life of other people.
Climbed every mountaintop I could just to find the man that I used to be.
You're usually making your happiness dependent on something else. I struggle to formulate that, but if you chase meaning, you end up with happiness. Am I right or wrong?
I will stay with you forever, my friend. I promise you there is gonna be a better day. I promise you there is gonna be a better day.